Abstraction is the mechanism to show only the relevant data to the user. That is, the client cares about what functionality a car offers, not about how that functionality is implemented. Right? So, the abstraction or the data abstraction refers to the act of representing the essential feature without including the background details or the explanation. Now, there are many things we use in our house also. Take an example of a television. That is, we know how to make use of the television, but we are not aware of, or not interested rather I say, of the things what is happening inside that thin box, right? So that is a concept of abstraction. We are only interested in essential feature to know that how we can make use of that device, right? So that is called as abstraction. Encapsulation allows the programmer to group the data and the methods that operate on them together in one place and to hide the details from the user. As in my earlier example of abstraction, in a television or in a TV, they have designed one electronic, say a kind of PCB on which they have assembled certain components, and these components they have covered with a black kind of a plastic kit, and also they have provided the mechanism, that is a kind of a remote through which we can operate on those. We can give the instruction to the TV, that is how it has to be operated. So that is again an example of encapsulation. So that is, encapsulation is the wrapping of the data and the operational functions into a single unit, and that unit is called as class, is known as encapsulation. Encapsulation protects the integrity of an object. Implementation of abstraction that we are talking in terms of encapsulation programming in a very common device, as that is a mobile phone. The components in the case of now the here TV, the features which are there available on unwanted screens by the client can operate. Again, our mobile is a part of abstraction. The TV manufacturer company don't want that everybody should have an access to those components. So they have which is there inside this plastic inside box. This whole a bank device forbids a client to change an account balance. That is encapsulation. Very well understood the concept. What is encapsulation and abstraction? Now the word inheritance. Now we all familiar with this word inheritance. We acquire certain properties or say the features from our parents. That is again a inheritance. Now what is an inheritance here? It is an ability of a new class to be created from an existing class by extending it. That is, here you can say the inheritance is the capability of one class of things to inherit the capabilities or the properties from another class. That is, there is a student class, and the student can be of a college or can be of a school. So these again can be the two classes of the student. Now again, the college student can be a BSc or a diploma, or in a school it can be a primary student or a secondary or higher secondary student. So now these again, now the class, that is, you can say a base class is a super class from which another class inherits properties. Inheriting class, the class which is get inherited, is called as the base class or the derived class, right? So here in this example, the student is on the top, so it's the parent class, we can say a base class. Now the two classes get inherited from it, so that is the college and the school. So these are the two, you can say, the derived class or the base class, sorry, the subclass. And the college has another, say, the two class, that is the BSc and the diploma. They are again, we can say, the subclass of the super class or the base class college, and the same way for the school also. The last is polymorphism. Now, polymorphism is the ability of an object to take to many forms. The most common use of polymorphism is in OOPS occurs when a parent class reference is used to refer to a child class object. Any Java object that can pass more than one is a test is considered to be polymorphic. Now here in the figure you can see I've just drawn a shape. So the shape, say, it can be a circle, it can be a triangle, or it can be a square, or it can be a rectangle, or it may be any polygon. So then, depending upon the shape, we have the different shapes. So I have used the word shape only. So that is what is an example of, we can say, a polymorphism. So this is all about the concepts of object oriented programming. Now we learn the advantages of OOPS, that is object oriented programming. The first advantage is code reuse and recycling. That is, once we write a code, that is the program we have written, it can be reused. Improve software development productivity, improved software maintainability, faster development, lower cost of development, higher quality software, encapsulation. Now, disadvantages of OOPS. With OOPS, classes tend to overlay generalized. The relation among classes become artificial at times. The OOPS programs designed is tricky. Also, no need to do proper planning and proper designing of OOP programming. To program with OOP, programmer need proper skills such as design skills, programming skills, thinking in terms of objects, etc. Go through these points one by one. That is, low level languages we have already discussed. The machine language, the high level language, the procedural programming language, modular programming, object oriented programming. What is an object? What is a class? Abstraction, encapsulation, modularity, inheritance, polymorphism, etc.